Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news, breaking news outside the Carroll County Courthouse. The Richard Allen trial, day one is complete, folks. People coming out of the courthouse. We're going to get an understanding of what transpired since the last break. Richard Allen trial, folks. Indiana, Delphi. Day one is over. So we're going to see what happened here, see who comes out. If anyone speaks, maybe the victim's family speak, maybe Richard Allen's defense attorneys speak, someone will speak. We're out here on the ground. On the ground, and there is Richard Allen's wife and family outside the courthouse. Come on in, folks. JLR investigates. It's been a long day. It is 5:09 p.m. So they finished an hour earlier than what Fran Gohl said she would normally do. She said she would end it. And I titled this video, Worst Trial Ever, because it's very secretive here and very restrictive, to say the least, on top of a lot of other things. But we'll talk about that. That's my take thus far. Come on in, folks. JLR investigates. The day has been complete. And we're here out here at the courthouse. Day one is over, folks. And the defense attorney should be coming out. Media is coming out. That is Richard Allen's family, the defendant's family. Hello, hello. JLR investigates. Come on in, folks. We're going to get an understanding of what happened here. Outside the Carroll County Courthouse. All right, so Magnolia is finding out what happened. There goes Richard Allen's family. They are leaving court for the day. This is outside the Carroll County Courthouse. Court is over for the day. Court is over. Magnolia is getting the goods right now of what transpired, and we'll find out shortly. We'll find out shortly what is going on. JLR investigates. Boots on the ground. Delphi, Indiana. So it looks like, folks, that today the first people to testify were the victims' families. The victims' families. I don't believe any law enforcement testified. A lot of people want to know about the opening statements today. You know, McClellan and the prosecution spoke for about 13 minutes. They laid out the opening in about 13 minutes, while Richard Allen's defense spoke for an hour. And they were speaking so long, folks, that Judge Fran Gohl kind of told them to hurry up. Wrap this up, wrap this up, wrap this up. Big difference in opening statements between the parties. They spoke for 13 minutes. The other party spoke for over an hour. Does that mean anything? Not necessarily. But it's very interesting because a lot of the trials that I covered, and maybe that you covered, the prosecution's the one that usually lasts the longest. The prosecution side of the case usually goes for a while. But in here, it was total opposite. Defense speaks for an hour. Prosecution for less than 15 minutes. 13 minutes. Oh, there goes people leaving. I don't know who's leaving over there, but those are people leaving. Don't want to zoom in on the jurors. People got in trouble today. They got reprimanded. There was people that got kicked out and got their... Oh, hear that? That's an escort. That's an escort. That's an escort. Someone got escorted out. Someone got escorted out. Who was it? Jurors? Richard Allen? It's not a circus atmosphere out here. It is not a circus atmosphere outside the courthouse, to say the least. More people out when the court is adjourned than there is people on the street normally. Which is very, very interesting. Wait, there goes Richard Allen's defense. I think that is Richard Allen's defense. Possibly. Way down there. Is that his defense? I think that's his defense. They came in here, this side. So we're out here at the Carroll County Courthouse. Magnolia is going to give us some information shortly when she comes by, so we can get an idea of what exactly was said today. What exactly was said today at the Carroll County Courthouse? JLR investigates. Come on in. It's a nice little gazebo. All right, Magnolia is coming down. Magnolia is coming down with the scoop. I titled this video, Worst Trial Ever. Magnolia, welcome aboard, and spin the camera around. Hello, hello.
Yo.
Yo.
What's happening?
Tell us what's going on. And speak a little loud. Some people are like, hey, you sound far away.
Well, I'm trying to be respectful because there's, you
Speak
know,
louder
there's other
than
people.
the witnesses.
Yeah.
Were you in there?
Yeah, we all were.
So give us some 411. We're YouTube live. Tell us what
I'll let
happened.
you go.
If you want to.
411.
Yeah,
what do you mean,
what
like-
happened today? Like your take on being in there. Come on in. What's your
Well,
name?
My name's Jenny.
Jenny. JLR Investigates. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
meet you.
I
Watched
followed
you.
I
Oh, yeah?
followed- I
Thank
followed
you.
on the Kentucky case.
Oh, the Kentucky
I
case.
followed
Joseph
you.
Couch.
Yep.
The
Yep,
manhunt for
Couch.
Joseph
Yep.
Couch.
Yep.
So how far were you in line?
We were 19 and 20 in line.
So you got in?
Yeah,
Were
about
you
25 people allowed in.
25. So
Yep.
you were right there.
Yep.
What time did you get in line?
What time did we get here? About 6, I think.
Well, no,
Oh, about 7.
my daughter, I paid for her and I paid her and her boyfriend to come and stay from 2:00 in the morning, and it was freezing.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I stayed up the whole night because I could. People were texting me, and I
That's
should have just
Julie.
gone ahead and come.
Yeah, they were probably telling you better get there to get that spot.
Well, they kept saying. Well, I kept going back and forth, and I kept saying, "Forget it. It's X amount of people in line." And then she's like, "Oh well, just go ahead and come."
So Richard Allen today, what was he dressed like? Like what was his demeanor?
Like a plaid shirt.
Yeah, a plaid lavender shirt, and I thought his demeanor. This is the most lucid I guess I've ever seen him, because the first time I ever saw him was at the hearing, the very first hearing here, and I'm sitting in.
You want to come in a little bit so people can see? So yeah, awesome. Thank you.
But the first time I ever saw Richard Allen, he walked right by me. I was 2 people away, and when he walked by, he was just he was small in stature, which obviously he is.
5'4", right?
Yeah. And I had no. I mean, that didn't seem like that was the image that I saw bridge guy, and not because everybody's had this picture in their head, but the picture on the bridge. If you look at the hip. If you look at the shoulder to hip ratio and the hip to knee and then the knee to ankle ratio, it just didn't seem like it added up. And then you can tell he was obviously on just on heavy medication because he's, you know, looking all around. You know, I work in the medical field, so I've seen that before. So fast forward, and today seemed pretty normal.
Was he shaving?
Yeah.
He was clean
Yeah,
shaven?
he was clean cut.
No goatee?
No.
Nothing.
No
Clean
goatee, haircut. He even was wearing his readers, and I actually saw him for the first time really having a good a conversation with his attorneys after it was all over, and they were talking. So it seemed like it wasn't like he just leaning over to whisper. This is the most normal, mentally normal that I've seen him.
Wow.
So yeah, today was just all preliminary stuff. There was not any big aha moment of anything.
No bombshells.
No, and it was.
And you could hardly hear anybody because the PA system wasn't working, so you couldn't barely hear what people were
So
saying.
it's hard.
Well, the microphone was, so when the witness was on the stand, the microphone was turned this way, and so it was facing the jurors, but it wasn't coming across the speakers. And you know, honestly, I mean, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but it was kind of a boring, you know, opener.
That's
And-
other people have told us that. It's kind of like yawning,
And
tired.
I'll tell you how boring it was. One of the jurors on the far end, he was an elderly man, God bless him, but he nodded off, and he fell asleep.
Really?
Yeah, and
Nudged him.
the gal next to him had to wake him
jurors
up.
falling asleep.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that was actually around 3 o'clock.
So do you think that helps or hurts Richard Allen's case?
Right now, I don't think some of the stuff didn't really matter. It's really small stuff like, you know, you're Abby's mom. Tell us about Abby. She's played in sports and all that stuff. It's basically just telling the story of who the girls are. I didn't think there was anything big come out. I mean, it's all preliminary stuff. I think tomorrow may be a little bit that way, and I think come Monday we're going to start getting a little more of the meat of this whole this case and the maybe potential discrepancies. You know, that the defense is probably going to start bringing up, but they're just kind of like laying the groundwork right now.
Gotcha.
And then that's going to change. So I think, you know, there were so many people I heard this morning, and it was freezing, and people were here at like 11 o'clock last night laying on the ground, and they allowed 24 public people from the public end. I don't know if it's going to be kind of like that.
So are you guys coming back in line tonight?
Oh, I'm not coming back.
You're
I'm
not coming back for the trial at all ever?
We'll be back.
I have an Airbnb, but I might come on Monday. I might come.
Like, if you could say, just based if you were a juror and you just heard the opening, I heard the opening for the prosecution was 13 minutes. The defense went for about. I've been swayed either way.
It's a yawner. It's a yawner. It's basically it's laying the foundation of like, okay, who are these girls? Where, you know, we're in Delphi, small town. Okay, where's the bridge? What did the police officer know about the area when they were first called that the girls were missing? Anna Williams took the stand. Officer, is it Ketchum? I'm not sure of the last name. It was hard to catch that.
Kelsey took the stand, Becky took the stand, and then Derek took the stand. The father talked for the first time today.
Derek.
First time,
Gotcha. Father spoke for the first time today.
Yeah, he was pretty just, you know, matter of fact, nothing exciting or new that came out of him. There were a couple moments where when Becky first testified, you know, she started talking about Libby, and she started crying and choked up, and it was very emotional. And then as well as Anna, she had to stop, and she started crying, and I think that really tugged at the jurors' heartstrings. I know it just tugged at all of our heartstrings because everybody feels for a parent that's lost their child.
Absolutely.
So I think overall it was an okay day, but there was no fireworks or anything like that. I think people were expecting something controversial right away. There's nothing really. I mean, I think that the final week is going to be.
Yeah, that's when we're coming back. The final week.
Oh yeah,
They basically see, you know, the closing and hear what happens.
Yeah,
you know, whether the victims' families get justice.
Yeah.
You know. I personally think it's really bad about the restrictiveness,
It is.
lack of cameras.
Yes, the cameras in the courtroom, what we noticed,
They're covered up. They have covers over the.
So there is cameras in there.
There's
Yeah,
cameras
they're
in
covered
there,
up.
but they put like almost like little garbage bags over all the cameras in the courtroom.
So
And they
nobody's filming nothing.
Nope.
you could not hardly hear the witness, like to even take notes.
It was
I
hard.
mean, you would have to be a juror up there to hear everything. I mean, I heard a lot of people that are. I was Andrea Burkhardt. He's like, can't hear her.
Can't hear.
And lawyer Lee, she was a big one. She couldn't hear, and so.
Was the guards there looking at everybody as if to see if they have their phones out, or were
They weren't too bad. Actually, this was the most chill that I've seen them actually. But there was one gal that came in and she had a sock cap on after our break. It might have been after lunch break, and they actually must have been following her because one of the big guards he opened up the door, one of the deputies, and he was looking. They were pointing at this lady that was sitting towards the back. She had a sock cap on. They said take it off.
Yeah.
Because they maybe thought she had something.
or maybe you can't wear hats.
Or listening device or whatever. You know, they're worried. They're worried.
Oh, you
about
better
it.
get your hat.
You could probably go back.
Get it.
Can't. They said you can't go back in after 5.
Well, maybe if you ask them, you got your hat. I'll let you.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate your insight,
Hey,
ladies,
thank
and
you. Thank you for
thanks
thank you
coming
for
out.
what you do. You do some really good work.
Appreciate it. We're here, Magnolia, right here, and we're just trying to get an understanding about
Hi,
this whole
Magnolia.
trial process. Thank you,
Well,
ladies.
good luck to you.
Be
guys.
safe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This way, see if they want me to
All
go
right.
in or
You have my key.
Come on in, Magnolia. Come on in. Come on in. All right, so Magnolia, what did you hear? Did you hear? It's always good to get insight about people that have been in the courtroom. Come on in. So pretty much they said what transpired.
Yeah, they had the mother, I guess Libby's mother. No, it was Abby's mother that testified this afternoon. They had a police officer. It was Officer Catrone, I think is how you spell it. Yeah. So he just kind of testified to what he did that day as he was searching. He received the call. He went down there for the search, and he talked about the different areas that he searched in. He went up to the private drive, but didn't go past the private drive. And anyway, he didn't see the girls that day. So something interesting that is new that I've never heard of, the jury is actually allowed to ask questions during the trial.
I didn't know that either. Tell us.
So they actually did ask a couple questions while the officer was testifying. One thing they wanted to know was how far the ravine was from the bridge.
Oh.
And then they also wanted to know if it's common for people to go down the bridge and then turn around.
Ooh.
So I'm not sure. He didn't know the answer to that, but so the jury is able to ask questions, and they did. So they're engaged, apparently. So paying attention. But yeah, I mean, by and large, everyone is just saying that today was pretty boring. There wasn't really anything new. I think the most interesting parts of the day was probably clearly the opening statements this morning. The defenses in particular, they are contending that what they're saying is they believe that Abby and Libby were essentially kidnapped and taken somewhere, driven away somewhere and killed, and then their bodies were brought back and left there by the creek. So that is what the defense is trying to say. The reason they're saying that is because there was a 12-hour gap of time on Libby's phone. The phone pinged in that area of the bridge where they were last seen, where they were last Snapchatting, and then there was about a 12-hour break of the phone not hitting any towers, no activity, and then all of a sudden around 4 a.m. her phone started pinging again.
Ooh.
From the site where their bodies were found.
Well, what does that even mean? Does that mean as if they actually did leave for those 12 hours or 13 hours or whatever, and then mysteriously came right back to the area where they vanished?
Yeah.
That sounds kind of weird.
Yeah, so that's a big that's another big question, is the phone data. Libby's phone data is a big key in this case. She's the one who recorded that video of the bridge guy. So a lot of the stuff that the defense is working on with their case is focused on this data from Libby's phone. The same data that Nick McClelland did not initially turn over. That's when they asked for that, or they asked for an update, where's this data? He responded sarcastically saying, LOL, I don't have to tell you you're out of luck.
That's like pretty much buzz off.
But
Buzz off, I ain't giving you nothing.
But it turns out, you know, that data is very important to the defense's case. Like I said, there's like a 12-hour gap of time.
Well, to me, it sounds exculpatory.
Yeah. So
Possibly exculpatory. We titled
we'll
this
have
video.
to listen to them lay that out and say how it is that they think that this actually occurred. But that's the gist. They're saying the bodies, that they were kidnapped, taken from the scene, literally driven away, and then brought back. Their bodies were brought and dumped at that specific spot. So it might explain the question we were asking last night when we were at the bridge, and I kept saying, like, wait a minute, this bridge is really, really far from where the bodies were found. It's super far. It's way up high and far away. You have to go really far down, and
around the corner.
Way down through the
Down the
woods
hill, around the
to
corner.
the ravine. And I just kept wondering,
To Ron
like,
Logan's property
how,
they go.
How did Richard Allen allegedly get the girls from that bridge down there to that ravine? Like, how did that even happen?
Yeah, but let's be objective here. We've been objective the whole time. We don't take a position here. We have some opinions, but I'm like thinking, it sounds a little far-fetched to be able to kidnap two people, take them to somewhere else, and then take them back to the place they got kidnapped and just dispose of them. Sounds a little far-fetched to me.
Well, but technically the place they were last seen and the place where they
Remote.
were found was very far away.
And remote.
It wasn't this, like, they were not found where they were last seen. That's a big detail. They were last seen literally on the bridge. The video she took on the bridge. They were not found there. They were found way far away from there, down into the ravine by a creek bed. So you have to wonder, how did they end up there? Did they?
Mr. Allen had a gun.
Threatened.
A gun.
So they were threatened with a gun to walk all the way down this steep hill, all the way down as far as it was, however far away it was, or they were taken from the bridge, put in a car, killed, brought back and dumped on Ron Logan's property.
Even if you take it from the bridge, you still got to take a significant trek into where are they taken from? The road to the north? What's that road called that goes right to the north there? I mean, is that where a car was there and they were taken across through the woods into a car that was like a quarter mile away?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes more sense than them trekking downhill because Richard Allen had a supposed gun.
If you were if they were taken, which way were they taken? Did they go Ron Logan's way, or did they go up back to this old CPS building, the water tower way? Because if they went back up to the CPS water tower way, one of the neighbors had a surveillance camera that, got a one of the vehicles that passed through. They would have, whoever was the kidnapper would have been seen on tape.
Yeah.
So what in the world is going on here? Were they taken away, or is this just a story that the defense is putting out there?
Well, it's definitely a story, and I'm interested to hear how they continue to lay it out with the data, the phone data. All that's going to be a big deal in this case. All that data, and the missing and the missing data too is going to be a big deal. The interviews and different things that no one seems to know what happened to them.
Well, some people say the missing data is automatic grounds for a defendant to get off because you are destroying evidence.
Yeah, where's the data
Possible
from...
exculpatory evidence you might be getting rid of, so these things just magically disappear.
Yeah,
I'm not so sure, folks. But yeah, it's interesting, to say the least. It's going to be interesting.
well, the tough thing is that at this stage, no one can say with certainty that Richard Allen coerced the girls down the hill, killed them by himself.
Let's go over here. Let's go out of the sun a little bit.
With...
Yes, let's get into better light. Better lighting. Maybe. Yes, better light.
It's worse.
No, I think it's better. I was definitely here. We're skipping here. Back and then, okay, here we go. And why did we come back? We came back to a different thing. But anyway, can you all hear us? Can you all hear us here? Yes, they can hear us.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so anything else to add, Magnolia?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying that I don't think right now anyone can say with certainty what happened here. And that's unfortunate because you would think by the time you get to trial, you would have a confident explanation of what happened to these two girls. And I just don't see it so far. I don't see confidence in the prosecution's case right now. Not yet, anyway.
Very, very interesting. Well, this is, we're venturing off, right? We decided to make the choice to venture off. So I'm sure there's people out there that will still be attending the trial. You want to get details with them. We're following this case, and we do plan to come back at the back end of the trial. It's a long month. Mm-hmm. It's a long jump. I have numerous problems. That's why I titled the video. What did I title the video?
Worst trial ever.
Worst trial ever. And the reason why I titled it and we came up with the title together, Worst Trial Ever, it is, to me, one of the most restrictive, secretive, botched type cases we've ever seen. And I'm not saying Richard Allen's innocent.
Yeah.
Because I still think they got the guy. But it's just mishaps after just all types of things. Just things across the board. Even him being in restrictive housing in a maximum security prison before conviction seems a little unconstitutional. Fran Gold taking and confiscating people's cameras that are taking pictures on the street seems a little like she's the authority, like she's the boss lady, like she is running the show, but it's seems like you're overstepping your boundaries. Sounds a lot of unconstitutional things. Plus, we asked the defense this morning, do you think your client will get a fair trial? And guess what they said?
No comment.
No comment. Shows me they probably think he's not going to get a fair trial.
Yeah.
The odds are against him. But yeah, there's a lot of things wrong with this case all across the board. Just the handling of the case, again, getting rid of evidence, hiding evidence.
Yeah, it's all very suspicious, but we finally have arrived at the trial, and it's nearly impossible for there to be adequate coverage of the trial because you are really going by word of mouth. That is how these updates are coming out. No one's in there making clips, videos, audio recordings, nothing like that. So what you're hearing from us, from every media outlet that there is all coming from someone's brain writing the words on a piece of paper and then relaying it to the journalist that's doing the report. That's how all these updates are coming out, which is completely ridiculous. It's like we're in the Stone Age. It's 2024. There's no reason whatsoever that at a minimum they don't have closed circuit cameras in there, an overflow room with journalists allowed at least one device to take notes, live tweet updates, whatever it is that they need to do. There is no reason for this case to be handled in complete darkness. Absolutely none whatsoever. And I think being here today proved that because there's no issues out here. It's not as if Delphi is overrun by all these wackadoodle TikTokers and crazy people.
No.
That's not happening. That is just simply not happening.
Misty, thank you.
You had a total of 50 people who lined up overnight to get in. Only about 20 of them got in. No one threw a fit. There was no altercations.
No disruptions.
No, it's boring. Like, no one showed up. There's no one here. There's honestly no one here. There's the media that we've been showing you. It's like a handful of local media, and I think a couple of national media.
Court TV, News
but they're
Nation.
just not really sending people here, is the thing. They're not really wasting their resources to set up like they normally would for a big trial. Because normally, like with Murdoch, you had Court TV, they literally had a house set up. They had a little tiny house set up. They had a whole center of operations. Everybody was doing their thing. That's just not the way it is here. You have like a handful of media, and they're also relying on word of mouth, people that are inside the courtroom to get their updates. So, you might notice some discrepancy from updates. Like, someone might say he's wearing a lavender shirt. Someone else might say it's a pink and white check pattern shirt. Someone else might call it plaid. Guess what? Just today, I heard all three of those descriptions that I just said. 3 different descriptions of what Richard Allen was wearing today in the courtroom. So that's what we're left to deal with. You have to basically listen to the different journalists that are telling you these updates. By and large, they seem to be accurate and they seem to be all lining up. But I just gave you a really good example. Just today, I was given 3 different descriptions of what Richard Allen was wearing. So, there you go. Worst trial ever.
Worst trial ever. And, to attend, I can't believe people would actually sit in line in the middle of the night or come the day before just to get a spot. It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be that crazy like that. And I'm sure about 8 p.m. today, the line will start again. There'll be some people here, and or at least people coming in the middle of the night.
Yeah, so the only people who got in today were people who camped overnight. So you had to have been here by about 2 a.m. last night, camping out in order to get a seat. That's how it went. So
Yeah.
there were like about 25 seats, give or take, for the public. And so if you weren't here by like 2 a.m. last night, there were no seats. So
Very well said. Anything else to add? All right. That's Magnolia's take. I'm going to spin the camera around, talk a little bit more, and show you outside the scene. It's all starting to thin out. Now, what's going to happen is in the next few hours, all these media cameras and everything like that, they'll be packed up. They'll go back to their hotels, and they'll be out here again tomorrow, Saturday. There is actually court tomorrow, Saturday, from 9 to 12. But we're back on the road here. JLR Magnolia investigates, but we'll continue to follow this case, and the back end of it, we should come back. We'll come back at the back end, and here we'll see what happens with this out here in Delphi, Indiana. So we're headed. We don't know where we're gonna head. We might go to Springfield, Ohio, or we might go back down to the Carolinas. We haven't decided where to go to keep coverage. We cover true crime 24/7, 365. Might go to Sarah Boone, who knows? Might go to Leilani Simon for a day, who knows, to see what it's like there in Georgia, Carolinas, maybe back to Kentucky, who knows? So, all right, folks, that's a wrap here. Delphi, our day in Delphi is complete. JLR Magnolia investigates. You guys have a very good day. I'm going to get some sleep, but I'm going to keep you updated on anything else that breaks and paying attention to whatever else is out there. Not much action going on right now. We are following the Menendez brothers case, right? The Menendez brothers. It seems like the prosecutors are probably going to let them go. There's no dispute that they did what they did, but the Menendez brothers, I believe, are going to get a resentencing. I believe it's going to happen, and I believe that they are going to be released. So that's a case. You know, you got the landfill, the missing wife in the landfill that they're doing a search, though they didn't find her in the landfill the last couple of days. Leilani Simon, Sarah Boone, Richard Allen. What else is going on? Tell us what else is going on out there. We love to hear the stories and everything like that. All right, folks, I'm signing off. JLR Investigates. Have a good day. Sub to the channel, like, hit the notification button. Reporting from beautiful Delphi. And we appreciate the local hospitality. A local business brought us lunch today. Brought us lunch. Watches the channel and brought us lunch. So we're very grateful for that. They didn't want to be on camera. Cool. Love them. Great people. Got to speak to them while we were eating some yummy, yummy food today in Delphi. We'll talk soon. Have a good day, everyone. JLR Magnolia Investigates. Stay safe.